The Whispering Forest and the Dream Tree, a bedtime story for sleep. Once upon a time, in a land not too far away from here, there was a magical forest called the Whispering Forest. This forest was unlike any other in the world. The trees whispered softly to one another. The leaves hummed lullabies with the wind, and the stars above twinkled brighter whenever someone nearby was falling asleep. At the very heart of this forest stood the Dream Tree, a tall, ancient tree whose silver leaves shimmered even in the dark. They said it was planted by the moon herself to help tired travelers find rest and dream sweet dreams. The Dream Tree had a secret. Every night, when the moon rose high and the world grew quiet, the tree would send out tiny sparkles of dream dust into the air. These sparkles would float like fireflies, traveling into the homes of people and animals, gently nudging them towards sleep. But tonight, something was different. On this particular evening, a little squirrel named Timbu was scurrying through the trees, restless and unable to sleep. Timbu lived in a cozy hollow up on a chestnut tree, with soft moss as his bed and a pine cone as his pillow. But even though it was well past sunset, Timbu just couldn't relax. He tossed and turned, he counted stars, he even tried humming a lullaby his grandmother used to sing, but nothing worked. Finally, with a soft sigh, Timbu poked his head out of his tree hollow and whispered, "Maybe the Dream Tree can help me." So he scampered down the tree, his tiny paws making barely a sound, and began his quiet journey through the night forest. As he walked beneath the glowing leaves, he passed by Old Olive, the wise owl perched on a thick branch. She blinked slowly at Timbu. "Where are you off to, little one?" she hooted gently. "I can't sleep," said Timbu, rubbing his eyes. "I'm going to see the Dream Tree." Old Olive nodded thoughtfully. "It's a good place to go, but remember, the path to the Dream Tree is filled with whispers. Listen carefully, they'll guide you." And with that, the owl closed her eyes once more, drifting off into a nap. As Timbu padded along the mossy path, the forest seemed to hum softly around him. The trees whispered things like, "Keep going, little paws. Almost there, don't worry. Peace and dreams await." Their voices were so gentle and calming that Timbu began to feel a little drowsy just listening, but he kept going. Soon he reached a quiet clearing where fireflies danced in slow circles. In the center stood the Dream Tree. Its bark was smooth and silver, and its branches stretched high into the night sky, touching stars like they were old friends. The leaves made a sound like wind chimes, even though there was no breeze. Timbu approached the tree and sat at its roots. "I don't know why I can't sleep," he whispered. "I tried everything." The Dream Tree didn't speak, at least not the way you and I speak, but Timbu could feel it listening. Then something wonderful happened. A soft glow surrounded the tree, and from above, a single silver leaf floated down, slowly spiraling through the air. It landed gently beside Timbu. When he touched it, a warm, calming sensation flowed through him, like being wrapped in a blanket made of dreams. The Dream Tree began to shimmer brighter, and a soft voice echoed in Timbu's heart. "You are safe, little one. You are loved. You are meant to rest." Timbu closed his eyes, and in the next moment, he found himself floating gently, like a feather in the wind. He drifted into a dream. In the dream, Timbu was flying on the back of a gentle dragon named Lumi. They soared through clouds made of cotton candy, over lakes that shimmered with moonlight, and past mountains that sang lullabies. They visited dream islands where turtles wore top hats and danced waltzes, and kittens sipped tea on floating leaves. Timbu laughed and played, his worries floating away like bubbles in the air. As the dream continued, he visited the Library of Dreams, where every book held someone's happy thought. He found his own book. It was filled with memories of his family, his favorite snacks, and the warmth of his cozy bed. Then Lumi, the dragon, looked at him with kind, glowing eyes and said, "You can always come back to the Dream Tree when you need rest. You're never alone, not even in your dreams." Timbu smiled, feeling peaceful in a way he hadn't in a long time. Slowly, the dream began to fade like mist in the morning. When Timbu opened his eyes again, he was back at the base of the Dream Tree. The sky above was turning a soft shade of blue. Morning was near. But this time he wasn't tired or anxious. He felt rested. He stretched his little arms, yawned, and looked up at the dream tree. The tree shimmered softly, and Timbu could feel it smiling. "Thank you," he whispered. And with that, he padded quietly back to his tree hollow. Back in his cozy bed, Timbu curled up with his pine cone pillow, pulled the moss around him, and closed his eyes. Just before falling asleep, he heard the wind in the leaves. A gentle whisper, "You are safe. You are loved. Sleep well, little one." And sleep he did. The whispering forest returned to its quiet hum. The dream tree glowed softly under the fading stars, and another peaceful night passed in the land of dreams. The end.